Do you want to be ahead of the game for the latest in arts, music, cuisine, and entertainment across the Middle East's most dynamic capital cities? Al Monitor is proud to launch our City Pulse newsletters, focused exclusively on local news, starting in Riyadh, Dubai, Istanbul, and Doha. Each week, our on-the-ground writers in these cities cover the latest cultural happenings and trends, so you have everything you need to know for the best local experiences. To subscribe for free, go to almonitor.com, that's al-monitor.com, and sign up on our newsletter page.
Welcome back to the Al Monitor Brief. I'm Adam Lucente. When asked on Wednesday whether he will strike Iran's nuclear facilities, U.S. President Donald Trump said, quote, "I may do it, I may not do it." He went on to say, quote, "Iran's got a lot of trouble, and they want to negotiate." Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, warned earlier on Wednesday that the U.S. would face, quote, "irreparable damage if it joins Israel's fight against the Islamic Republic." Khamenei's comments followed Trump calling for Iran's unconditional surrender on Tuesday. There is mounting speculation in the region and Washington that the U.S. could soon strike Iran. Much of the chatter focuses on Iran's Fordow nuclear facility. Located deep underneath a mountain in central Iran, Israel's weapons likely could not significantly damage Fordow. The U.S., on the other hand, possesses the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator, a massive bomb that can penetrate up to 61 meters underground, as well as the B-2 stealth fighter jet that can deliver the bomb. Meanwhile, Iran and Israel continued striking one another on Wednesday. In this episode, we hear from Al Monitor's Israel Pulse columnist, Ben Caspit. Ben takes us through what Israel wants from the U.S. vis-a-vis Iran, the damage Israel can do to Iran's nuclear program without help from Trump, and the Israeli government's current assessment of Iran's capabilities to hit Israel. Hope you enjoy. Ben, welcome back to the Al Monitor Brief.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, given the situation. My first question is, what is Israel hoping the U.S. will do with regards to Iran?
Well, the biggest dream of Netanyahu is first and foremost what we call the Holy Grail, the underground uranium enrichment site in Fordow. As we all know, Israeli Air Force is capable of doing many things, but the site in Fordow is too deep underground, something like 70 or 80 meters, and the only thing that can destroy it is the GBU-57 bombs that are carried only by B-2, American B-2. And this is the number one mission that we need help in right now if we want to mark a check after one of the most important goals of the war. By the way, there is a joke in Israel. Okay, if you don't want to do it, let our pilots use these bombers in the what we used to call in World War II land and lease situation. Just give us two B-2s or four B-2s for a few days. Our pilots will know what to do with it. But of course, this is a joke. We need some more things. First is interceptors. I think the New York Times broke today with the news that Israel is running out of Arrow interceptors, which are also very expensive. I don't think we are running out of it, but we are running low, and we use what we call right now interceptors economy. So we don't intercept every missile. We try to figure out where it is going to fall and then intercept it. And we need help in this area as well. I think the United States sent here, and we have here two THAAD missiles, American THAAD missiles systems. They're not so efficient like the Arrow, but they help a lot. If you ask me, we need also a diplomatic Iron Dome around this war. We need the United States to make sure that China or Russia will not interfere in favor of the Iranians, especially not in supplying ammunition or missiles against airplanes, because the Israeli Air Force is flying over Tehran like it is flying over Gaza. and it is very crucial. It's crucial to keep it this way. And also the day after, and this is very important, Adam, the day after the war, and I'm not sure it's very far. I think we're talking about days or maybe a week. We need the United States to be there in order to block Iran from trying to reestablish or rebuild this so dangerous nuclear program. We need to make sure they're not going to rebuild it. We need the sanctions, crippling and unprecedented sanctions. And the most important thing that I didn't mention yet, the only glory and the win and victory of this war will be a new nuclear agreement between Iran and the United States and the superpowers without a deadline, without a setback, and without uranium enrichment on Iranian soil. That's it for now.
And relatedly, if the U.S. doesn't intervene, how much damage can Israel do to Iran's nuclear program without help from the United States?
This is a very interesting question, and also the answer is not, the verdict is not out yet, but it's very interesting. You cannot cancel totally the Iranian nuclear program. You cannot eliminate it for good. Even if the United States is going full power and destroying the Fordow site and every other site that we need help with, the Iranians have the know-how, they have the infrastructure, they have tens of thousands of scientists, they have a lot of ability that they can rebuild it. But I think Israel, I'm talking from Netanyahu south, the chief of staff and the chief of the Air Force are deeply surprised by the level of success of us eliminating as much as possible and as large as possible quantities and parts of this program, because the Isfahan and the Natanz enrichment sites are totally destroyed. We took out the 10 of the most important and skillful scientists, and we caused a lot of damage to all the other sites and the secret warehouses and centrifuges, etc. So I think it's fair to say that even without the American help, Israel is capable of scrolling back or delaying this program between 1 to 3 years. And this is very important because we were very close to the situation where the supreme leader will give the order to go to the breakthrough. They were not going for the breakthrough yet, but they were doing all the arrangements needed to get very close to the breakthrough. In this point of time in history, Israel launched this attack, and we are capable of taking it back between 1 to 3 years. Of course, the American help can make it 3 to 5 years. But as I said before, we have to have an agreement. It has to be finished and sealed with a diplomatic agreement that will be signed by the Iranians, and everybody will know there will not be an uranium enrichment on Iranian soil. And also we have to deal as well with the ballistic program. This is what we're doing right now. We destroyed until now 200 of the launchers, of the ballistic missile launchers. We destroyed their capability of manufacturing new ballistic missiles, because one of the reasons that made us go for this attack was the intelligence about Iran trying to get and to manufacture 8,000 ballistic missiles. They started the war with 3,000. Right now, when we attacked them, they had 1,500, but 8,000 to 10,000, this is an existential threat compared to an atomic bomb, and we could not afford it.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Ben Caspit after this short break.
Today's transformation of the Middle East is at the center of global geopolitics. Whether you're an analyst, diplomat, executive, or academic, you need the best reporting and analysis to understand what's really happening on the ground and what it means for the world. Al-Monitor is the award-winning independent leader in Middle East news. From Riyadh to Beirut, Abu Dhabi to Doha, and Baghdad to Tehran, our team of over 100 expert journalists report daily on the top stories driving the regional trends. Download our mobile app and subscribe to Al-Monitor to follow what leaders and decision-makers are reading every day. Go to almonitor.com, that's AL-MONITOR.com, and use promo code POD25, POD25, for a discount.
Okay, we're back. Shifting to the Iranian strikes against Israel, what is Israel's assessment of Iran's capabilities, and can Iran do more damage to Israel than it is currently doing, or is the consensus that this is the most Iran can do?
We have to be modest and say we will never know for sure until they will do it. But in this point, as in the previous point of what we achieved doing, the optimism is in a very high level, because the damage assessment of the experts in Israel, in the IDF, in the Air Force, we're talking about between 800 to 6,000 civilian casualties, dead people, from the Iranian strikes, mainly ballistic missiles. Right now we have something like 26, and the number of missiles that were able to penetrate Israeli defenses is not too low, but it's very, very far from what the Iranians plan to do. The Iranians planned, the secret plan of the supreme leader was that in the first night of this war, they will launch at Israel at once at least 500 to 800 ballistic missiles. Listen, there is no way you can block or intercept even a small part of this quantity. They were able to launch only 50, and most of them were intercepted. A few of them hit targets in Israel and caused a lot of damage. And as I said, the 26 or 28 civilian lives is not a thing that we are used to, but compare it to 6,000 or destruction of many, many strategic sites. This did not happen. It did not happen thanks to the ability of the Mossad and the Israeli Air Force to strike in advance and destroy many, many launchers and many missile sites. So they cannot they cannot launch. The whole principle of the plan is that you will rain ballistic missiles on Israel like rain, and they will not be able to intercept it. And this is not happening. And right now, as we speak, the Israeli Air Force is above Tehran all the time, 24/7, drones and airplanes. And there is actually a hunt after launchers and ballistic missiles. And we see the army is releasing all the time videos that we see that we close circles over Tehran like we are doing in Gaza and in Lebanon. And this is unbelievable. So they went down from 50 missiles at once in the first night to 10 to 20 missiles, and then 2 to 3 missiles that are intercepted. So right now it looks good from Israeli eyes, but we don't really know what if they have another wild cards in the sleeve. What about the 1,500 kilogram missiles that they still have, or even 2 tons missile that a few of the analysts say they still have? Maybe they keep it for the doomsday. Maybe they keep it for hitting Saudi or UAE sites if they will be very desperate. But right now things look very good from Israeli side. Iran is crippled, and the only thing they can do is launch missiles. The drones are intercepted. The missiles From time to time, one or two are getting into targets in Israel. This is a thing that Israel can contain. And thinking about the Iran does not have an air force, the conventional army is irrelevant. So situation looks too good for Israel.
And a quick follow-up on that. Why do you think Iran hasn't sent more missiles towards Israel?
They could not do it physically, logistically, because the first strike, the first hours, and it was all out in the media. There were three major Mossad operations inside Iran. One was with the vehicles that had very precise missiles. The other was with drones that took off from inside Iran. The third was with missiles that were hidden in few sites, and the minute the attack began, they all hit and destroyed many ballistic missiles and many launchers. The problem of Iran is less missiles than launchers. If you don't have enough launchers, you cannot launch at once 500 ballistic missiles. You need 500 launchers. They started this campaign with around 400, and we already destroyed 200 of them. So they just don't have the ability to fulfill the original, the initial plan that was able to destroy parts of Israel. 500 ballistic missiles in the air towards you, no one can stop it, and did not happen not because Ayatollah Khamenei became Zionist, because they just couldn't do it.
Ben, thanks a lot for your time, and we look forward to more of your reporting on the situation.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks for listening to the Al Monitor Brief. Be sure to follow Al Monitor for more on the stories impacting the Middle East. Until next time, I'm Adam Lucente.